Herbivore. Herbivore. How are we doing? Where am I? Should I get in the middle? Or is it best to be off to one side? I think middle. How are we doing, guys? Nice to see you. Can you hear me okay? Welly is in the house. Hello, Welly. Let's goo. Ugh, I don't want to be covered in goo. Or do I? That might be fun. Depending on what type of goo you're talking about. Where are you in the world, Welly? And how are you doing? And thanks for joining. I don't think I've seen you in the stream before. Tiffany Cargill is in the house. Plant-based powered with his animals. A nice selection of animals there. Geronimo Jr. Vegan. Good word. So Welly is in Canada. And how's the vegan scene where you are, Welly? Vegan Metalhead is here, of course. My good friend. I don't really want a load of juvenile nonsense. We're a bit more sophisticated around here and grown up. Who else is in the house today? Do we want zebras? Yeah, we'll have zebras. A bit quiet at the minute. I think YouTube's not sending out notifications very well. Welly, veganism is quite common in Toronto. I think is there a restaurant called Doomie's, I think, and there's a guy who lives in my neck of the woods near Norwich in the UK, and he does the vegan sidekick comic. It's like stick people, like drawings, sort of crude, but done on purpose. Like he's actually a really good artist, but just really good satire on typical carnist nonsense. Yeah, and they've, I didn't finish my thought there, did I? They've, I believe, wallpapered one of the rooms in like life-size versions of his comics, so people go in there for selfies and stuff. I think that's the case. Tiffany, I have a question for you. I went whole foods plant-based in the past and am having weight loss surgery soon. My surgeon team has reservations about going back whole foods plant-based after the surgery. They obviously have no clue about nutrition then, or would have got concerns on people not doing it. And I'm a nutritionist, not a surgeon. Do you have any thoughts on how to be whole foods plant-based post-op? So like a bariatric band type thing? I would say that the problem could be for someone having bariatric surgery is getting enough volume of foods. But in that case, like, you could just do the whole foods plant-based and not have the surgery, I would have thought. But I mean, I don't know your particular case and whatever, and all your things, so I can't really pass judgment. Vegan Metalhead, 0 vegan restaurants where I live, at several places that can do vegan. Well, that's something, isn't it? And I'm sure that'll slowly happen. Hi Swampweed, how are you doing? I seem to recognise that name. Why do I recognise that name? I think you left a crappy comment. Oh, I remember you. Yeah, you're the idiot who put a stupid comment. You paid money to leave a stupid comment, and then I hid you from the channel, and then you paid more money, created a fake profile to then try and make out that you were someone else. But when you do a PayPal, when you pay via PayPal, I get notified that it's the same person, dipshit, so do one. Thanks. Don't come around here just trying to be a knob end. This is a channel about veganism, not whatever nonsense like rubbish you want to spout about. Get out of here with your kiddie porn BS. Question is in the house from MX. My geography is rubbish. I'm taking it that's a county. Is it? No clue. Sorry, you'll have to be more specific. Right, so Tiffany is diabetic. Reservations about whole foods, plant-based. So ideally you want to eat lower fat, you want to avoid saturates. So number one, you want to be vegan if you don't want to be like diabetic. Yeah. Yeah, I can't see why you can't do it. I would not go like high fat, but you need to get enough calories in is the thing. So it's monitoring that, eating the more calorically dense foods. If it is one of those like tummy stapling type things, if they do it too small, you're going to struggle to get enough like carbohydrate rich foods in because of all the water and fiber, which would mean you'd want to go more towards fat, but you don't want to be eating high fat if you've got diabetes going on. So I do see the struggle, and I would ideally, I mean, I don't know your situation, and maybe you do need to have the surgery, but I would say for most people, ideally, not to have that, if that is the type of surgery we're talking about, ideally not to have that and to stick to higher carb, lower fat, whole plant foods. On average, people in the Broad study, they ate ad libitum, they ate as many calories as they cared for on a whole foods plant-based diet, higher carbs, lower fat. This was in New Zealand in 2016, and they actually dropped 1 pound of excess body fat every week, eating as much as they wanted. Tiffany, the problem is after almost 2 years whole foods, my diabetes still never reversed itself. So, but then if you're needing weight loss surgery, I'm taking it perhaps you're eating too many calories and perhaps too much fat. That's my guess. I mean, obviously, I don't have all your info, so I'm just speculating. I don't really know. What diet were you like eating? Yeah, ideally higher carb, lower fat, in a slight caloric deficit, so you're losing like up to 1% of your total body weight each week. $15 people. I'm sure this is not getting out to people. I've shared it on Twitter, haven't I? Oh, I didn't share it on the... 1 second. I haven't shared this on stories. Let's just share this out. Try and get this party started. We are live on the YouTube. Swipe up and join us, God damn it! I told them. No, not music. Link. Boom. Okay. Tiffany, I also have a hernia since birth, and it is really ugly head again, unfortunately. Yeah, I have a peri-umbilical hernia, which I should have surgery on really, but that will mean I'll be out of the gym for a few weeks, and I can't face it. I ought to have it done now. You were whole foods, plant-based, salt or sugar-free, all at once, and gym 4 times a week. So yeah, but were you achieving fat loss? Because that's something. With type 2 diabetes, it's intramyocellular lipid, so it's fats lodged inside muscle cells. So I think there does need to be like a weight loss component as well to allow for the insulin sensitivity to return, because you're kind of blocking the insulin signal. seems like I've plateaued. I was fixing my hernia. My doctor wants me to get the weight loss. You lost 115 pounds, but you got stuck and didn't plateau. You didn't lose weight further. So I would say you just went in a caloric deficit for long enough to see the benefit. So yeah, that would be the ideal diet in order to lose weight. It is in my experience anyway, and I've tried them all over the years. People make me laugh. Welly, do I have to eat seaweed every day? Not every day. Ideally, we're looking for about 150 micrograms plus of iodine every day. The upper tolerable safe daily limit for iodine is 1,100 micrograms. So you could eat seaweed every 1 to 3 days, but you need to be very cognizant of how much you're eating. And there is natural variability. Some people, particularly if you're a thyroid sufferer, dietitians won't recommend you actually have seaweed, and they would recommend that you use like an iodine supplement so you can better titrate the dose. So it's probably better to do it more like daily, because you've got less likelihood of accidentally going over the safe tolerable upper daily limit if your seaweed is as higher in iodine than an average one. So I recommend to do it daily. Yeah. One other issue though is that some seaweeds do interfere with B12 absorption potentially, because they do have varying amounts of true B12 and what is that pseudo B12 called? I forgot. B12 analogues. And the analogues compete with the binding sites but don't activate your B12 receptors. So you can, if you had the wrong types of seaweed, like dulse is one of them, and it was very high in the analogues, you could have B12 deficiency, even though you're ingesting adequate B12. So I basically megadose my B12 on one day. I have 2,500 micrograms once a week, and I have no seaweed that day. I mean, a lot of seaweeds should be fine, but I don't know that all the science has been done. And certainly dulse is one I eat regularly. So I do my seaweeds through 6 days, and I have about twice the RDA, or a little bit more. And then once a week, I'd cease all the seaweed, and I have my B12 supplement in a megadose. Or you can have a little B12 daily. You know, avoid dulse on those days, you know, if you're using that. Vegemite cut borders in the house, good to see. Tiffany, so yeah, you lost 115 pounds, but then you stagnated. So yeah, I'd say you just needed to be in that deficit for longer. The trolls aren't out in force today. It's just one guy who wants to leave a silly message, irrelevant to the channel. So it had no place being here, and I've got no interest in him. So because I'm not feeding him, he's getting all hungry. His fingers must be getting tired. Keep making up fake accounts. But don't worry, not everyone's an idiot. It's just the one guy. Most people are pretty cool. Tiffany, I'm just wanting advice on vitamins and minerals after surgery so I don't get malabsorption. So yeah, it's just eating adequate food, and if you're having some kind of bariatric surgery, it will be harder to get enough volume in. But you can check on the Chronometer app. Are you hitting your minimum RDAs of vitamins, minerals, essential fatty acids, and essential amino acids? I can highly recommend this book as well, Becoming Vegan by Davis and Molina. It has all your kind of requirements in there and tips on how to get it. Yeah. But yeah, if your stomach volume is too small, you're going to struggle with a completely whole foods plant-based diet, particularly if it's lower fat. Ideally you want to help with the diabetes thing. So yeah, you just want to keep a really close eye on that initially, just to make sure that you're getting all your your vitamins and minerals, essential fatty acids and essential amino acids. I suppose if worse comes to worse, you'll have to add in a supplement. One of the better ones would be something like Vivo Life's Thrive, which is from whole, real foods rather than too synthetic. Depending on what you're short on, they also do a supplement which is specially formulated for plant-based eaters for the things that they're typically lower in if they're not careful. And it's all based on the latest science of what are the most absorbable types of these nutrients. So that's called Vivo Life Multi-Nutrient, and that's like a capsule. It's 2 capsules a day. So I would recommend that one if you need to go that route to shore up any deficiencies. Link below, 10% off, code HENCH10, any Vivo Life products. They are great. Cami, is a nutritionist degree difficult? I don't know. I have a diploma. I don't have a degree. I think with anything like this, it depends how much you want it, and if it's your life's purpose, you will be all in, and you'll find it easy. And if you're not really interested, you won't make the time, and you won't study it. Vivo Life. There's the link is below in the description box. It's under affiliate links and other ways to support the channel. Vivo Life protein and vitamins. Thanks for axing. And you're welcome, Tiffany. You're very welcome, bless you. Joseph McGuinness is in the house. Good to see you. And Angharad is here. Lovely Angharad. Private Angharad. She's recently joined the Herbivore Army. Do subscribe to her. She's fantastic stuff. She's got a lovely channel. Fever of life, yeah. Or maybe I said that a bit too fast. You're welcome, Tiffany. You're very welcome. That 10%, just to clarify for everyone, the 10% is off the first order. Oh, I write it in the description anyway. And by continuing to use my special link there, I actually get a small kickback, and it just helps support the channel. Chuko, good to see you, my friend. Gen V is your merch, Henchy. It's a company called, I think they're called Generation V, or they might just be called Gen V. Let me have a look. They're on Instagram, I know. Gen V. I can't find them now. They sent me this top for free as well. They're lovely people. Generation we are, is that them? We are Gen V?
We are Gen V, no,
that is.
Yeah.
We are Gen V clothing brand. They're great people. They've sent me a few tops, haven't they, bless them?
Yeah.
What's that cat saying?
Oh, he's really saying something.
I just saw the hand of the voice from beyond on the replay.
I had to go quickly because Cowboy wanted something really bad.
Findale Finney, hey, I'm 9 years vegan too. Congrats, high five. Very good. All the best people have been vegan for 9 years. Like me and Gemma. And Findale Finney. Samuel Neal, it was a great question. What made you go vegan? For me, it was Dominion. Yeah, that film will get you. I went whole foods plant-based after seeing all the data on how nutrition and longevity and health pan out. Yeah, after Gemma did for the same reason. And then accidentally I saw what animals go through. And so I would say I'm whole foods plant-based for health reasons. I'm vegan for the animals, and I'm a vegan activist because I feel, obviously very bad for what I did for all those years when I just didn't know better. I thought it was normal, natural and necessary to eat animals, and so I just did what everyone else did because, I didn't realise I was implicit in a terrible Holocaust because from my perspective I was just having my lunch, which is sad to say. VegMet, did I salute you yet? I can't remember. I'm going to salute you again potentially. Did you enjoy that ice bath? Loved it. Absolutely. It wasn't cold enough though. It wasn't cold enough. We're well getting into the old cold therapy, aren't we, Gem?
Yeah.
We love a bit of it. Were we going to get 20 kilos next time?
Yeah.
What is it? £1 for 2 kilos at Lidl? No, is it Aldi up here or Lidl? I've forgotten now. Why have I forgot? It's Lidl.
Yeah.
Was it £1 for 2 kilos? That was crushed ice, wasn't it?
I think so.
So for a tenner, we could get 20 kilos. Run the cold water fresh, which we didn't do last time. That was sitting in there for a bit, so that probably wasn't as cold. And leave the ice in there for a bit as well. Like 5 minutes or something. It's so good. How did all you guys go vegan? We've got 23 in here. I want to see, on average, what was the main... I think most people maybe go vegan for the animals today. And I know some people are going to pick me up on, vegan's not a diet. But some people go, well, I'll say whole foods plant-based. Well, no, not even whole foods plant-based, because they don't realise that just because you're eating a vegan diet doesn't mean that it's necessarily healthy. And I think most vegans aren't eating a healthy diet, So why did you guys go vegan? Give me a hashtag, hashtag ethics, hashtag health, or hashtag environment, or hashtag whatever else reason you can think of. I've seen people go vegan for sort of spiritual reasons. Because they took like ayahuasca and went to God's workshop and saw gorillas being put together. Is that right? I think that's what Chris said, isn't it?
I can't remember.
Yeah. Alid is here, actually caught a live stream, very good. I've decided I'm going to schedule these for 9 a.m. It needs to be 9 so I'll get on my morning routine in. My meditation now is nearly an hour long, so it's taken a bit longer. So yeah, 9 a.m. Wednesdays and Sundays you can expect me on. Right, why did you guys go vegan? Hashtag ethics, hashtag environment, hashtag health. Let me know, I'm interested. Metalhead's been vegan for 7 years. That's a long time. 2 kilo when we do better. We do better when we know better. Yeah, exactly. You can't be like mad at people for something that they don't know. And we think because it's so obvious to us, it's easy to have hatred towards non-vegans. But still, a lot of people have not been privy. They still are ignorant, not in a I don't mean that as a negative thing. Not ignorant. Yeah, ignorant's the word. They don't know. Nescient is what we normally mean when we say ignorant, and that means like willfully ignorant. Like they know what's going on. They know they don't need to eat animals. They have seen like the terror, yet somehow they manage to block that off and just buy their neat little packaged, products, and still not really see it as bits of a murder victim. Right, what have we got? Vegan metalhead ethics. Alid hashtag didn't like meat anyway. That's a good reason. Ankarad is vegan for everything. Yeah. There's no good reason not to be vegan, really, is it? Unless you're a nihilist who wants to die and yeah. Vegan Pixie Warrior ethics. I thought you might say that. Kaz ethics as well. Nice. So mostly ethics, as I suspected. Tukil, can you give a shout out to your brain dead friend, aka Sferridge? Oh, bless him. I'm trying to get away from these, whether I'll do it or not. I'm going to try and put less, how do I put this? I'm going to try and put more love into the world and less attacks on people. But sometimes people do need calling out. You know, there needs to be social consequences for bad behaviour, else, you know, people are going to be more inclined to do bad things in the world to the detriment of others. But I'm going to try and be more loving going forwards, you know, even with trolls and stuff, you know. There's a phrase, like, we're all doing our best from our current level of ability and, like, you know, our experience and knowledge and understanding. And I think some people are just really bloody confused, aren't they, you know? Or, you know, they've been born, maybe they have some kind of bad wiring and it just makes them quite evil. And, you know, they didn't ask to be born that way, so I don't know. I just think if we put more love into the world, maybe we can get on quicker. I'll stop doing like the troll response videos because I think that gets a lot of views and people enjoy the drama, but I don't think it's doing anything to further the movement, and it doesn't feel good to me anymore. So I'm afraid you may be seeing less of that type of thing from me, although the views has gone right down, so I may be forced to go back to it to get some blinking views. So you might have to ignore everything I just said. Joseph, Hench, have you seen the Iceman Wim Hof talking about ice therapy? Yes, what all my practice is on. I do his breathing first of all, and then I do his sort of cold therapy, then I meditate. Yeah, I'm very inspired by our man Wim. Pixie Warrior is working but listening. Well, thanks for tuning in. It's good to have a few friendly faces in there. Tiffany, health, but I was disturbed by the films I came across for animal kills. Yeah, they're horrible, aren't they? Pixie Warrior, I take my veggie friend in a bleeding burger a month. I took my veggie friend in a bleeding burger before I went vegan. Small cutie, it's just that idiot again. Joseph, health and ethics. Okay, for me it was type 2 diabetes, then pretty much instantly put everything together after doing research and was discussed by those industries. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, the world does need more love. Samuel Nell, you hear the news about Amendment 171. We have won. What is Amendment 171? Tell me about that. Well, I'll do a quick search as well. Oh, Dairy Lobby. Rejected by EU Parliament. Rejected plans for unprecedented restrictions on plant industry. Drop plans to impose new regulations on plant-based dairy products. Oh, so terms such as milk and yogurt. Oh, hang on. Oh, they're still forbidden. Yeah, I took it that was going to be the case. Oh no, you're saying we won. Am I reading this wrong? It was confirmed today that European Parliament representatives have withdrawn their proposals from the EU negotiations over the Common Agriculture Policy after a coalition of 21 bloody blah to reject them. Climate activists respect now. Petition to ban them. Oh, finally this nonsensical plan is off the table. Ah, well, existing restrictions on everyday language like soy milk remain. It is just reassuring that European leaders have listened to consumers. They rejected further extreme bans. Oh, on environmental. Okay. So they were going to add further restrictions. Direct or indirect use or evocation of dairy products. Right. Good. So that's something. That's something positive. Good to know. Thanks for telling us about that. Thy only path. I went mostly plant-based because of what the health, but was still eating some animal products here and there. I think Ed and Joey told me fully vegan. Very good. Albert, hi Paul. Thanks for all the good content you put out. Can I ask you about losing weight, not only being a matter of calories in, calories out? Thanks. Well, ultimately, like, you do need to be in a caloric deficit. So that is like the main thing, really. I mean, different types of calories have kind of different effects in the body, and we need like a minimum of protein for nitrogen retention, for like protein synthesis. But I think you don't need to really overcomplicate it, to be honest. Yeah, and it is the main thing, is to be in a caloric deficit. Whether you do that by eating less calories or by moving more or by a bit of both. And just the main thing is to not lose more than about 1% of your total body weight each week. If you do it too aggressively, your body will revolt against you, and you kind of end up skinny fat and hurting your metabolism, and end up with nowhere to go. So it should be done slowly, the old fat loss. 1% of the total body weight. I don't know if I have anything more really to add to that, but if there's anything specific you're kind of getting at, do let me know if I need to speak further on that one. Javier is in the house. Good to see you. Wally is in it for the ethics. Yeah, good news, Pixie Warrior. Tiffany, I couldn't believe the filthy conditions in the meat slaughtering plants either. That made me understand why meat is so unhealthy. Animals with abscesses, spewing out meat for gross. Yeah, it's disgusting, isn't it? The only path. Do you think it's possible to make a living from vegan activism and animal rights photojournalism? Yeah, I think some people are doing it. Some people are doing it. If you're doing a good job, I think with this sort of career, the universe rewards good behaviour. So if you're putting out good into the world and trying to help, like, others will try to help you. Not everyone's got the time to be activists, although they really would like to. And if they're really like serious businessmen and they're just super rich, but that keeps them in their work all the time. I've been donated like crazy amounts of money before. And I'm more in the sports, like health and fitness niche, let alone, in the ethics niche and looking at animal rights, where people obviously have high emotions around it. And look at Joey Cobstrong. Working. I think was he controlling something to do with either lights or cameras or something in Australia. What was his job before he got Patreoned? He basically had like a normal kind of a job, and then he just said, I'm sick of this, I want to make a difference. Can anyone donate towards funding me? And now look at him, he's flying, he's got a big old channel, he's well funded, and he's really making a huge difference. So yeah, it's very possible. You just need to really want it, to have some skills, and to be willing to ask for support, which a lot of people aren't, but why not? We're just doing good in the world. Alid, I'm about to drink some apple cider vinegar, which made me think it's actually as healthy. Oh, is it? Yeah, I believe it is healthy. You don't want to drink it neat. You want to dilute 1 or 2 tablespoons in some water. About 20 minutes before a meal is a good time, because it helps to improve your stomach acid if you're having troubles there. If you've got a good diet, you shouldn't be having troubles there. But yeah, it's one of the actual, I think it's the only alkalizing vinegar that there is. Most of them are acidifying. So yeah, it is particularly good. Tiffany, we need more great food photography to flood out for vegan and whole foods, plant-based foods to get people continuing interested. I think that would be great. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and what I say is, like, something like that, just start it up as like a side hustle. Lieutenant Dan has subscribed. Welcome to the channel, Lieutenant Dan. If you happen to be in the stream, yeah, start up a side hustle. Do it. We all need to pay our bills, so or most of us do. Some of you might just happily be quite rich for no good reason, but most of us have to work for a living. So, but the beauty of the internet is that anyone can get like a presence, like grow a bit of a social media. You know, for me, I was a PT and a nutritionist, and I started YouTube as just a little bit of fun, really. I never meant to take it serious, and now it is my career. So yeah, I'm making a living as an activist, you could say. So I guess it depends what. You know, I think you're talking more in terms of animal rights and getting footage of that and whatever. But yeah, similarly, like, you know, my overarching goal, other than human health and sports performance, is to save animals. So yeah, I'm living proof that it can happen. Too cool. I went vegan because I'm vegetarian since birth. Wow! No meat, no eggs, no that as well, but consume dairy. I guess I made cling to dairy. I guess clinging to dairy made no sense given how much suffering is in dairy farming. Yeah, we did. I bet you didn't know for the longest time though, eh? Good for you. Oh, that's amazing. Wow. No meat since that's amazing. Eliza the vegan's in the house. Good to see you. Lovely. Subscribe to her. She's lovely. Hassim is here. Good to see you again. And Marcus. Hey Paul, how often do you have cheat meals or days? I don't really. I mean, I do have either protein powder, seitan, occasionally like sort of pea protein based kind of meatball or burger type thing, like as low oil as possible. So that, I mean, that's not whole foods. The reason I have that, and I have 2 servings of either of those every day. But the reason being, because I'm bodybuilding and I need like a higher percentage of protein, which is harder to get. If I wasn't bodybuilding, I would be completely whole foods. Cheat meals, cheat days, you know, you're making it hard for yourself. You'll hurt your taste buds. You won't enjoy like kale and things after that. You're just making it harder. And who are you cheating? You know, I'm mostly in you know, my nutrition, the way I eat is, I mean, it's partly to support muscle growth, but it's mostly for my health. And why do I want to cheat myself of my health? And if you stick to healthy eating for like 3 weeks and you don't let yourself get hungry, you reset your taste buds. You enjoy real food just as much as you enjoyed any junky foods, and you feel better and you perform better and you're happier and you live longer on aggregate and more functionally. You know, you have less years of disability towards the end of your life. So no cheat meals or days for me. You know, I feel like I'd only be cheating myself, and I'm so happy. I was so enjoying my food. So yeah, there's really no need. Jake Sexton's in the house. How are you, Jake? Good to see you. Eliza had a super healthy breakfast. 2 Greg's vegan sausage. I believed you for a minute. Purple Piplup. How dare you? How dare you? How many of you guys are whole foods plant-based? How many of you guys just eat whatever the hell you want? And how many of you guys eat maybe like mostly whole foods, but with a little sort of junk and manage to get away with it? Let me know. I'm interested. That was a good question, Marcus. That was a good question. And it's not something I arrived at overnight. You know, that took years really for me to get in that space. But I just realized I was so unhealthy. You know, I was eating tons of protein, I was drinking all the time, I was taking party drugs, I was doing performance enhancing drugs, and I was in my like mid-30s, and I really thought, wow, I've got away with this up until now, but I kind of know that you can't get away with it indefinitely, and I kind of did a complete 180, went whole foods plant-based, and cut out all the negative lifestyle habits. So I'd hate to think where I'd be now 9 years on. I think I would have I would think I would be on some meds. I would think I would have some real issues. I mean, my blood pressure like wasn't great. And now it's sub 110 systolic, which is no further benefit after that. So it's optimal. I really think I would be dead or just in a bad way, and certainly not half as happy. Yeah, I'm so glad I changed. The only part, I feel so bad for having eaten animal products for 25 years. I've turned my mum fully ethical vegan. Wow. Well done. Let's have a round of applause for thy only path, please. That's amazing. It's very rare, or is it very hard, I should say, to have an effect on our loved ones, particularly our elders. They like to feel like they know best. That's very good. My extended family had still feeling reduced me. Hope to get them to join someday. Very good. I love it. Don't feel bad. Would you make a child feel bad for eating animal products that their parents told them that they need to eat to be healthy? And that's what you're doing, kind of, to do that to yourself. That was your consciousness, and we just didn't know better. So you shouldn't sort of chastise yourself for it. I mean, I have regret. I suppose I do feel bad. I suppose I do. But I've forgiven myself because I didn't know better. And instead of dwelling on that, I just use that as fuel to do good now and to jump on camera and to make videos and to, have conversations with people and try to help them find veganism. And I'm very confident that by this point I've saved exponentially more animal lives than I took when I didn't know better. And yeah, that allows me to sleep soundly. I could dwell on it and think of all those lives and get really down. But the antidote to despair is action. Is that the phrase?
Depression, I think, is the term.
Is it?
I think. Although it's been a while since I've thought about it, so I'm finding it hard to remember now.
No, I don't think it's depression. I think it's when you have really bad feelings towards something and you, rather than having those bad feelings, you do something actively to...
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Anyway, something like that. You get the idea. Right, so what are people eating? Vegan Pixie Warrior. Oh, and did I say subscribe to Vegan Pixie Warrior? If I didn't, I apologise. Do subscribe to Vegan Pixie Warrior. She also has a lovely YouTube channel. Whole Foods, Little Junk. I have fuel for lunch every day. Okay, so you've got quite a balance there. Hasim, I eat some processed foods, soy curls, peanut butter, but mostly whole foods. Yeah, and on the scale of things, like peanut butter, if it's not got additives, if it's whole peanuts and nothing added, I don't see that as particularly unhealthy. It's easy to overeat it. It's the sort of risk. But I have a little peanut butter on occasion. Yeah, soy curls. So is that like textured vegetable protein? So that's sort of almost pure protein, I think. So again, not whole foods, but on the scale of things, if you're just having a couple of those, a bit of peanut butter and the rest whole foods, I would say that's extremely healthy from my perspective. The only path, mostly whole foods, but I just can't get rid of refined flour and potato chips out of my diet, which keeps my weight above what I want. Yeah. Yep. We call those crisps over here, I think. If you're saying normally we would say chips or crisps. So if you're saying potato chips, I'm thinking you're possibly American. So that would be our crisps. So deep fried skinny slivers of potato. Yeah, they're not ideal. Yeah. Also, what's the deal with those? So the deep fried, so you're going to be creating acrylamides, which are a type 2A carcinogen, so possibly cancer forming. And obviously like high omega-6, so pro-inflammatory, so you're going to be feeling pain and disease in the body potentially. Yeah. I would like to see you work to get rid of those. I would say try to, I guess you're eating your whole foods as well. Mostly whole foods, so just eat a bit more whole foods so you don't get hungry. See if that works for you. I hope you give that a go. Aled, I don't want to shoot myself for my health-wise. Thank you. Yeah. It's easy to not worry about things when you're in good health and we think we're the centre of the universe and nothing bad can happen to us. Sadly, everyone thinks they're the centre of the universe because we're just the ones having this subjective experience and anything can and will happen to us and we're not immune to death and disease. That's the one inevitable thing. We are going to die. What we're going to die from, to some degree, we can have some control over it. And most people are the cause of their own death. And you have a good chance of that not being you by avoiding animal products, fried foods, refined sugar, refined oils, or much refined oils. Earth, that is a cool name. Hi Paul, what was the point when you decided to turn 180 and go all for plant-based? Was there some sort of health call? No, I just really had an epiphany. I said this a minute ago, so I don't know if you might have already heard it, but I was just a party animal. I was a bodybuilder. I was abusing steroids. I was eating tons of animal products, and party drugs, drinking all the time. I was just a real monster, like a real party animal. You know when Charlie Sheen had his real breakdown and he was doing all those crazy amounts of drugs, and he really said, he just went really mad, didn't he? And said he was invincible, sort of thing. And that's how I thought that was me. I thought I was invincible. I was just really deluded. Really, really deluded. Vegan Pixie, I decided to go veggie when I was 12, and my parents, my doctor told me I needed to eat animals for my heart condition. What, to give yourself a heart condition? Yeah, the funny thing is my heart condition is better. What a surprise, since going vegan. So much so that they've put off my open heart surgery for a few months. I was born with my... Oh, okay. Wow, bless you. Oh, I'm glad you're doing well, and you're welcome for a shout out. Stacey Langley's here. How are you doing, lovely? Good to see you. Marcus, Paul, are there any non-vegan YouTubers, commenters, influencers you are a fan of? Non-vegan YouTubers. I like some of the video YouTube creator channels, and so last night Nick Nimmin actually came in the room, and he's about my favourite one. He's one of the bigger ones. He's about 1/3 subs, I think. Yeah, and he was really nice and poked his head in and said hello. So I'm a fan of Nick Nimmin. He's great stuff, and his brother D. Non-vegan YouTube. People are going to find this surprising and possibly unsubscribe from me. I'm quite a fan of Greg Doucette in a lot of ways. Obviously, I'm not a fan of him not being vegan, but I like his no-nonsense bodybuilding, other than his nutrition advice, but his training advice and how he talks about performance-enhancing drugs and things. I think a lot of people find him obnoxious. And similarly, and another person I love is Gary Vaynerchuk. And he's like a real entrepreneurial sort of guru. And similarly to Greg, when I first came across both of those, I thought they were obnoxious and brash and loud. And now I realise actually they're very passionate and very self-confident and very self-assured and very good at what they do. And they deserve to be that way. So yeah, Gary Vaynerchuk for like marketing stuff, Greg Doucette for bodybuilding stuff, not nutrition obviously because he's not vegan, and whoever else I said, oh yeah, Nick Nimmin as well for creators. Yeah, I'm a big fan of all of those. Leo, what can you do to make your family go vegan? You cannot try to force them too much. You cannot try to guilt them. You cannot try to shame them. You can't keep hitting them over the head with it. What you can do... Read this book, Beyond Beliefs by Melanie Joy. To learn
about communicating to non-vegans.
And there's a lot of it, like non-violent communication stuff.
All about communication and how to maintain healthy relationships and stuff.
Learn how to maintain healthy relationships, rift and repair. So really become a psychologist is my main bit of advice. And don't just... I know that you know what's going on with animals and that they're suffering and we need to change yesterday, but you can't try to pressure people like too quick. What I think is lead by example. Show that you're happy, healthy, more energized. You know, you get sick less often. You're in the best shape of your life. All those, the more of those boxes that you can tick, and just be kind, and just share the odd resource. But just don't beat people over the head. When it comes to loved ones, we often create problems. And we need to. We need to connect. We need to know how to communicate effectively. And one phrase I'm fond of saying is, do you want to be right or do you want to be effective? Yeah, and think of the animals and try to step out of your ego it's difficult with friends and family. It's often difficult, and oftentimes I have to hear it from someone else as well, as the sad truth of it. But if you're a good communicator, if they're non-defensive, maybe you can talk them round in one go. Maybe you can, but don't think you've failed and get mad if you can't, which is normal. More often than not is the case. You need to plant seeds. The only path. Do you think Goriowski will ever come back? I think sooner or later the passion will come back to him. Yeah, likely. It's the trouble, if you go at something too hard, you can sort of break yourself. Too cool. Junk food is fine as long as it's followed by a raw food diet and extra bit of workout, I guess. I disagree. You know, how regularly are you doing that? And if you're eating like half a tub of coconut oil a day, you're going to get heart disease quicker than someone who's eating beef every day, most likely. No matter how much you try to undo it with good stuff after, it's not always possible. So I don't recommend junk food. I really don't. Obviously, there's going to be like a small amount that you can probably get away with and perhaps see no difference to health outcome over years. Where that is, we don't know because we've not done the study, and why risk it is my perspective. Pete's Ponderings. Hello fellow henchers, Paul, and I think I heard Gemma. Yep, sorry, no question. Oh, Pete's Ponderings. I got excited then. I got well excited. Right, 10 more minutes, guys. 10 more minutes. Get your comments or questions in, and then I better go now. I'm off to do my hill sprints today. Get big, strong quads and a healthy heart and lungs. Stacey, doing well, thank you. Getting ready for my fortnightly acupuncture session. Love it. I think I'm a glad both hands. Tell me about that. I've had acupuncture once. Had a really bad back. And when they put the 6th needle in and gave it a little tweak, my whole back convulsed like I had an electric shock. And he said, oh yeah, you're a little bit tighter now, aren't you? Oh, that was horrible. Vegan Pixie Warrior, are you going to camp out this year? We have a camper van. Oh, wow. Yep, we've got our tickets. We're going to be staying at Airbnb because we're posh like that. Well, you're pretty posh in your camper van. Yeah, we just don't enjoy camping so much now. I feel like I never get such a good night's sleep, and then I'm sort of uncomfortable in the morning. So, yeah, camper van sounds better though. Oh, very good. So let's hook up, Pixie Warrior. It'd be lovely to meet you. Supplicix, hi man. I just want to say that you're an amazing person. I love you. I love you too for being so kind. I love people. Obviously, you get the odd person who, you know, is not so great, and they're out to manipulate and get what they can for. Most people, I think, by and large, are nice, and I think if we can all lift each other up instead of putting each other down, imagine what we could accomplish if we all work together, you know. Thanks for saying that. I really appreciate you. Jimmy Doney, hey Hench, good to see all the content recently. Loving your work as I. You lovely people. I love you. I love all of you. Even that troll, but he was hard to. The people who need love the most ask in the unkindest ways is a phrase I've heard recently. So there's a bit of a mind blower for you. Hasim, I was a closet vegan from 13 to 20. Wow, 13 to 20, that's amazing. It can be tough when people find out they try to force their kindness views on me. It's so much easier now. Good. Oh, wow, that's amazing. Well done, you. That's inspiring. JS, hey Paul, do you still have your water filtration system? Yep, Berkey. I'm thinking about investing in one to make sure my water is clean and healthy. Yeah, Berkey, Berkey filters. They're a UK outfit. I think they're part of Royal Dalton, which you may recognise from a lot of toilets. Yeah, very, very good. On the less pricey end of the spectrum, but very, very good, and outperform most other systems in virtually every way. So money really well spent. We've had ours about 10 years, I think. Don't quote me. The only pass, the package skit you guys did absolutely cracked me up. Thanks for that. Yeah, we really enjoyed that one. I think that was my favourite one to do. That was a bit silly, wasn't it? Shane, hi Paul, no question, but me and the missus just hit our 3-year veganiversary. Wow. You were a big help in the early days, especially we both lived in Norwich for 10 years. Wow, well done, Shane. Let's have a round of applause for Shane and his missus, please. Very good. Whereabouts in Norwich did you live? Stacey, I have it for tension in my shoulders that cause most of my migraines. Wow, it doesn't stop but ease them. I have shock treatment and acupressure with it too. I find it really relaxing. That's interesting. I still get the odd migraine aura where I suddenly can't really see for like, I have to sort of shut my eyes for half an hour. Obviously that's not so bad. I don't have the like crushing headache like most people do, so I'm grateful for that. But I'd like to get rid of the auras as well. So, and I have some tension. Oh yeah, sort of there in the old trapezius right now. Yeah, I wonder whether I should look at that. Yeah, interesting, Stacey. I'm glad it helps you. That's very good. Good old Petey's ponderings. I can muster a question. What would you suggest if someone's health declined while they still ate animals, then about 2 years later they became vegan? Now family allude suggesting everyone blamed the change of lifestyle for the health decline despite previous animal eating with the health issue. Yeah, that's common, isn't it? That's common. Most people, I think, switch into like a healthy vegan diet, do it because of health issues, and then we've seen it with celebrities and people. Yeah, that happens all the time. Yeah, what would you suggest? I guess just showing the data, like the evidence, showing and just pointing out, well, actually, I went vegan because I had these health issues, and here's all the science on prevention, treating, and reversing disease. With a whole foods plant-based diet. I would fall on the data because the data is well and truly on our side. I think that's the best answer. I read that wrong for a minute. Ballad71. Hi Paul, how to get enough iodine on a plant-based diet? I have hypothyroidism. What are the best sources? You guys are the best. Thank you, my friend. You're very kind. So for someone with hypothyroidism, I used to recommend seaweed for everyone. And now it's come to my attention that most of the top dietitians don't recommend seaweed for people with hypothyroidism because there's natural variability in seaweed and it can vary 6-fold. And for someone with hypothyroid, you want it to be a consistent dose. So I would say supplement. I wouldn't go with salt. A lot of countries fortify their table salt with iodine, but then you get an excess sodium, which is not good for us in many ways. I would say get a direct iodine supplement and shoot for at least 150 micrograms a day. You can go up to 1,100 without hitting the tolerable safe upper daily limit. So I say I wouldn't just scrape in at 150. I basically have about double. I go for about 300 mics a day. And for you, get it from a supplement and not from seaweed, which it has too much variability. And that should really help you to stabilize and then not have to muck around with your T4 or T3 if you're on that as well. Yeah. Good question. And you're the best for being so kind. Pixie Warrior is going to focus on spreadsheets. Thanks for hanging out and thank you for your kind words. Eliza struggles to eat whole foods all the time. I wish I knew more whole foods plant-based foods to get a bit of support. Yeah, that makes it easier, doesn't it? That makes it easier. Bald Wise Man, what do you think about no-fap? I was watching a video today called Dopamine Detox. And they're saying it's very good to abstain from pleasurable activities and not to constantly bombard yourself with them. And in that way, you sort of get more out of life, really. So, I think that's likely a great thing. I don't think it's required. Like, if you've not got a partner, I don't believe that acting like a monk is sort of a requirement or sort of tempting for many, although you can go that route if you want to. But certainly for me, I'm gonna, going forward, try to detox a bit from, these high dopamine activities like constant scrolling and, You know, I don't take drugs anymore, drink alcohol, you know. Hyperpalatable foods, it's all on the same pathway, and it just lowers your appreciation for everything else. And it's not that you're fasting from dopamine, because you actually increase your dopamine sensitivity in this way. So yeah, I think there's something to it. I don't think that you need to do it like all the time, particularly if you don't have a partner, because we need some sexual release. I don't think there's anything inherently unhealthy with that. But if you're constantly like watching porn to the detriment of like doing life, then you know perhaps you benefit from it. Maybe 6 days a week you abstain from that. Dr. Bones, hey Paul, I'm about to go vegan in Australia. What advice can you give me? Stop eating animal stuff. Yeah, I don't know that there's anything particularly special in the case of living in Australia. Just get some resources. I've got loads of recipes and what I eat in a day videos. Watch some videos. Like Dominion is good. That's from Australia, and that shows you what happens in the animal agriculture industry. So that will sort of cement the reason why you're doing it, and you won't want to go back. I have extremely fast metabolism, so the main thing for you is to eat calorically dense foods. Now you can eat refined sugar, you can eat refined oil, but you'll also have as bad an outcome potentially, or a health outcome as a meat eater, or at least like a not very favourable health outcome. So ideally you stick more to the whole plant foods, legumes, whole grains, fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, herbs and spices, those 8 things. But you want to emphasise the more calorically dense foods, such as legumes, so beans, split peas, chickpeas, lentils, that sort of thing. Grains, so rice, pasta, whole grain pasta, quinoa, amaranth, teff, oats. Emphasise those. Emphasise tropical and dried fruits because they're more calorically dense. And then things like apples and oranges. I'm not saying like never eat them, but I'm saying you don't want to eat many of them, where you could be eating a mango, you could be eating a medjool date, which is calorically so much more dense. And perhaps you may also want to go slightly higher in fats. Ordinarily, I'll recommend a lower fat diet. But for someone who struggles to get calories, then nuts, seeds, whole nut and seed butters, avocados, these are going to be your friends. And you know, they're mostly healthy fats. Make sure you're eating a couple of tablespoons of ground flax or chia every day to get your omega-3s. Try to get your omega-3 and 6 in balance. I've got a video on the channel, how to eat plant-based successfully. That tells you everything you need to know, so you don't need to remember everything I've just said. But yeah, look at caloric density. You need to eat some leafy greens. You need to eat some yellow, orange or red produce, like, you know, most days. But you don't want to be eating like a wheelbarrow full of kale and then you've got no room for your calories. Like there's great, you're getting some great minerals there and some vitamins. You need calories as well. So with a fast metabolism, that would be the way to do that. Only Path, are you a fan of seitan? Yeah, hugely. I cured my gluten intolerance a year or 2 back with the help of goji, man. After I had a SIBO infection, it actually cleared that up as well. And now I can eat tons of gluten with no issue. So yeah, I eat seitan. I have it in spates. We'd sort of run out for a while, but we just got some vital wheat gluten in. So I'll probably eat it. I will probably eat it most days for the next week or 2, most likely. Like 1 serving, and I'll have a scoop of protein powder. Very protein dense, you know, it's low in other macros. So it's just a good way for a bodybuilder of upping your protein without taking in too many calories. You're welcome, Dr. Bones. You're very welcome. Right, I think that's that time. I better go and do my hill sprints. Bit of yoga first. Before I've done my hill sprints, my legs have been so shot that I've not been able to do my yoga. So I'm going to do my yoga flow. I'll do 3 rounds of sun salutations. And then I'll get into my sprints. And then I'll have some lunch with the little lady. So that'll be nice. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Have a great day, whatever you're going to be up to. Thanks, moderators, for keeping us. We didn't have any moderators, so I don't need to thank you. Oh, yes, we did. Yeah, we did. We had old Piplup, didn't we? The artist formerly known as Piplup. Thanks for keeping us troll-free, Purple Piplup, or Eliza, as you know known. Back What day is it? Wednesday, back Friday night, 6 p.m. GMT. So do subscribe, set a reminder on your phone, and have a fantastic day, guys. It's been a blast.